So in the build-up to Biofab 2021, the annual meeting of the International Society for Biofabrication held in September from 27th to 29th, we're chatting with Professor Zee Upton from Newcastle University, who will be one of the plenary speakers at the conference. Thanks for joining me today.
Happy to be here, Sam.
So first things first, you're speaking about your specific work and your background, I guess. How does that sort of relate to the field of biofabrication?
So thanks for that. Look, I'm a biochemist by training, and I sort of moved into cell biology when I was at QUT, when I moved there in 2000. And very quickly, that was the era of stem cells, I guess, and we started thinking about stem cells, tissue engineering, and realized that we really needed an interdisciplinary approach to achieve anything. We also started to think about not what's going on inside the cells, but really what's going on outside the cells, which meant we started thinking about the way that cells interact with surfaces, materials, and can we engineer them to do the things that we want. And in particular, I was interested in skin, and over time I've really gotten to chronic wounds in particular. So things like diabetic foot ulcers, venous leg ulcers, because the bandages that are being used are, to be frank, pretty archaic and haven't advanced much in many years. And so we started thinking about what could we do that was different, that would help with this pressing aging problem.
Yeah, right. And as I mentioned, you're going to be a plenary speaker at the conference. I'm just wondering if you can sort of share the gist of the latest news you'll be sharing.
Cool. Look, I only moved to Newcastle 6 weeks ago. Prior to that, I spent 6 years in Singapore. And so I'll be talking about my experiences in Singapore, which was a really amazing experience, a very dynamic environment. So I'll be talking about two activities that I was involved in, one that I led, which was the Wound Care Innovation for the Tropics program. And this was a collection of projects and disciplines. And I'll be talking about how we took a biofabrication approach to develop, attempted to develop, they're still in progress, I guess, better wound dressings and also diagnostic technologies so that we could tell whether a wound was healing or not healing. And then could we use that information to actually develop therapeutics. And this would always involve a combination of, sensor materials, whatever technologies. And the second area was about us developing a biological advanced manufactured dressing, particularly not for chronic wounds, but for burns. And so can we embed sensor technologies in to know when the dressing or the graft was being rejected or being accepted by the body? And so again, a very large program, and I'll just be giving highlights out of those two areas. And again, it will really be a story about Singapore innovation.
Right, it sounds like it'll be a fascinating talk. You've obviously been in and around this space for some time, as you've mentioned. Wondering if we can sort of look into the future, and I'm wondering, maybe if you could sort of give a bit of an estimation of where you think the field will be in, say, 5 years' time.
Yeah, look, I'm always surprised, and so I won't be able to predict it because I'm sure it will be wrong. But I think we'll be, what I'm hoping, because, now that I'm the PVC of the College of Health, Medicine and Wellbeing, I'm really hoping that the technologies that we're developing and using today will go beyond actual healthcare, but into health. And so I'm thinking about technologies that can be implanted into the skin, sensors, fabricated devices, so that you can monitor your health and well-being rather than your disease. And so in particular, because I love skin, I'm thinking of implantable materials that will monitor the earliest signs of ill health, chronic diseases, so that you can actually get a sense of your body on a day-to-day basis, temporal, and you can decide, no, I'm not going to have that extra glass of wine because my body's telling me that I shouldn't be doing that, or I need to go and do more steps today because my metabolic rate is really not good. So I think epidermal electronics is what I sort of see I'm going to be interested in the future.
Yeah, certainly. It interests me as well. Well, look, thanks so much for taking the time to have a really quick chat with us and to build up a little bit of hype for your talk and for the conference in September. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
My pleasure too. Look forward to the conference.